Hi there, I'm Mike, and this is For the Record. Maybe not this particular video, but welcome to the channel and welcome to the swamp. That's what I call the area down here. Although, just wanted to do a video about my experience for the first time actually on my channel about the 2023 Rhode Island Comic Con. And why do you ask? Am I standing in front of two vintage Star Wars posters? These are actually vintage. This is an original 1977 Star Wars poster I've had for decades. And this is the original Empire Strikes Back. I have um, Return of the Jedi poster that I need to get a frame for, but that's going over there. Um, so I'll go briefly before we go to the area over there where you normally see me sit. So I'm standing here because if you look right there, C3PO himself, Anthony Daniels, signed it. Let me tell you more about that. That was an unbelievable experience meeting him. And got my the Shining poster. That's not an original, but it's a nice reproduction. And I met Danny Lloyd last year at the Rhode Island Comic Con 2022, and he signed that poster there. Dr. Sleep. I'd really love to meet Ewan McGregor or Michael Flanagan, the writer and director for the movie, and would love to meet them and have them sign that. But here is the Terminator Dark Fate. So this movie, probably out of the entire franchise, it's probably one of the most hated. But we're not going to get into whether it's a great movie or not. It is an original movie theater poster. And the special thing about these, same thing actually, now that I'm thinking of it, is the Doctor Sleep. They're very similar. Is they're transparent because nowadays in movie theaters, the movie posters are in frames similar to this, but they are lit from behind. So you can it really makes the poster pop. I don't have that here, but maybe one day in the future I'd have a fancy poster, fancy frame like that that's lit from behind. But like I said, the Doctor Sleep one's exactly the same because I got them from the same movie theater. So Terminator Dark Fate. Why? Well, because of that right there. To Mike and Logan, there is no fate but what we make. Linda Hamilton. Um, I just I'm so excited. That was the reason I went was to meet the legend herself. I'll give a quick little tour. It's a vintage Star Wars poster. So let's get over here. Let's take a look here. There's one shelf right there. There's my rig right there. So dogs are going fucking nuts. So so I wish I could edit because I have some wonderful pictures to show. But if you're friends with me on Facebook, go on to Facebook. I posted probably after a day or two. I'm sure I had people saying stop fucking posting these pictures. They probably get tired of it, but I don't care because it was my experience there and I want to share it. So briefly, so I ended up. Let me start off by saying, for the past this is year 3 that my son and I have gone. I'm trying to get my daughter to go next year. So this is by far, for the past 3 years, this is by far my favorite. I think because one, we better planned everything. The more you go to these things, the more you learn what to do and what not to do, and it's not just a place to go and hang out. It's sort of a you sort of have to have a plan. So briefly, what I did was, for the first time, I actually went on to Altered Reality's website. They're the ones who manage, no, not manage, that handle. Well, yeah, they manage the celebrities that go. They're the ones. Altered Reality um, uh, employees are the ones that are sitting with the celebrities, at least in the Connecticut, Jersey, I think Boston and Rhode Island as well, in Massachusetts. They manage the celebrities. They're the ones who you pay when you meet the celebrities and arrange a photo, arrange a signing or whatever. Um, so I went onto the website and I really planned out what people I wanted to see. I planned that much better this year, and I found out where they were sitting, so I knew, like, we were the first ones at the door, first ones through the door, the first ones through the metal detectors, and I beelined it to Linda Hamilton. And my son went off to go meet some voice actors he wanted to meet. So I was literally in line for Linda Hamilton. They have like two lines, and they have like the VIP, and they also have the general admission. So the difference is the VIP, they take priority over the general admission, but at the same time, if you paid VIP and you get in line at an hour early, which is 9 o'clock in the morning, and then 10 o'clock, right, everybody else goes in. The VIP are let in an hour early. But if you go to certain spots, the celebrities aren't there until after 10 o'clock. So if you're there to meet certain celebrities, a lot of them aren't there until after 10. So it's a waste of money. Anyway, so I went there, beelined it to Linda, and there were general admission. There were 3 people ahead of me. So it wasn't a long wait. A couple of VIP people went, and that's, maybe 9 or 10 people went, and then and then it was my turn. So met her. It was really neat. It really was, to talk to her, and just to kind of, just to talk to somebody of her stature. But so what I did was went up, and I paid. I paid, I had explained that I wanted a photo and I wanted an autograph as well, and just 2 separate prices. Um, so was talking to the handler for Altered Reality, and I had asked her, I said, is it possible to have Linda sign one of the greatest lines in the entire franchise, and not come to me if you want to live, but the line where it's there's no fate but what we make for ourselves. um and she says no. And I was like, excuse me? She goes, no. Linda will sign it. What she normally does is she'll sign no fate. One, because of the lines, and she was like, we just want to make this thing go fast, and it's all about the money for the company, which I think is kind of disgusting. But so I said, okay, fine. So I paid for the photo, I paid for the signing. I move over a couple of feet to Linda, and I'm standing in front of her, and I'm not nervous at all. She's a very nice, very kind person. She's not intimidating at all. She's very, very, very nice. Out of everybody I've met in the past 3 years, between her and Danny Lloyd, she's just such a down-to-earth and very nice person. And so I was sitting there talking to her for a couple of minutes, and I said, Linda, I wonder if you can do me a favor. And she says, what's that? I said, I wonder if you could sign the poster, there's no fate but what we make for ourselves. And that's just, well, she signed it, there's no fate but what we make, I think is the actual line. She signed it. So I asked her, and she like turned her head, or tilted her head, looked behind me, and she goes, yeah, I'll do that. So I think the signing, I think the autograph I got is really special, because not everybody will speak up for themselves like that. Not a lot of people will ask a celebrity. They'll be like nervous, and because somebody just said no, you can't. So I think that's really nice. That she was willing to do that. We took a few photos together, and she was just very nice to talk to. And I said to her, I said, so you're gonna make another movie? And she says, what other movie? I said, another Terminator movie. She's like, no. She's like, I'm too old for that shit. And I said, no, 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 no. You're still young. I said, you should definitely make another one. And she just kind of, she thought it was funny. I said, you definitely need to make another one. And then that was it. And I was walking around. I'm not going to tell you the whole story because it'll take me hours. But just walked around and gone upstairs. I met Molly Ringwald. Didn't get photos with her because I was there really for my daughter. The entire Brat Pack was there besides Amelia Estevez. Ali Sheedy, Anthony Michael Hall, Molly Ringwald, Anthony Michael Hall, Ali Sheedy, and Judd Nelson. All four of them were there. And then Andrew McCarthy, is that his name? Yeah, he was there as well. And so I went up, I met Molly Ringwald. She's very sweet, very kind. She had a little puppy in her lap, and just kind of talked for a couple minutes. And then I had her, I did a signing. And again, I chose not to do a photo because I was there just kind of getting it for my daughter. So, and then I was, it ended with me going downstairs. My son wanted to meet Ron Perlman, but after I had finished meeting Molly Ringwald, as I was heading back downstairs to meet my son, I was walking through one of the like a little side alley, a little side like a hallway that was in between the main area and then where some of the vendors were, and then where the celebrities were. And I just was walking through, and I looked. There was this room a little bigger than this room here, and I looked inside, and there was somebody in there doing a signing, and I was like, and there was no signs, there was nothing saying, this person over here. I just was walking around. And let me just say this real quick before I continue. So the night before on Friday, I had made sure I had everything ready. I had my money, I had my tickets, I had this, and I said, I'm going to put in I pulled my Star Wars poster down out of the frame, rolled it up, and I said, you know what, I'm going to throw it into the poster tube along with the Dark Fate poster, just in case, because I really did not plan on meeting Anthony Daniels. So I just said, you know what, I'll put it in there. And I was thinking, there's no way, I'm never going to have time. I'm not going to sit in line for hours. I don't want to do that. So I just threw it in there. I said, if it happens, it happens. So I'm there, meet Molly Ringwald, walking around, and I'm walking through this little alcove, and I look in this room, and I see somebody signing him. I'm like, I don't have the best eyes. Like from a distance, I'm not bad, but I'm letting my eyes adjust, and I'm like, who is that? And he was all by himself. He had two handlers, and there was a table. And again, it was in this room all by himself. Two handlers, and there were two people in line. And I looked, and I'm like, that's Anthony Daniels. Holy shit. I'm like, are you, what? So again, I didn't plan on meeting him because I figured there was no way. There was no way. So I walked in, and I was out talking to one of the Altered Reality personnel, and I said, is it a set price for the photo and the signing? And he goes, there's no photos today. They're doing what they call professional photos, and it's just a way for the company to make more money. But so I should have asked to take a photo of him signing it, but I didn't. And so I got up to the table, told the handlers what I wanted. I paid one, and then the other one said, what do you want? And I said, I have a poster and I want signed. He goes, okay. So as I opened it up, all three of them, Anthony Daniels and the two Altered Reality people, I unrolled the poster. Again, it's a 1977 vintage original. This is not a repop or anything. They went, and Anthony Daniels looked at it, and he goes, that is vintage. And I said, thank you, it is. I said, I've had it for decades. So I had him sign it, and he was very particular. So as I was explaining to him, about the poster and stuff, and happy to meet him and stuff, and I had accidentally put, and I will say that if you ever have the opportunity to meet Anthony Daniels, do not ever put your hand on the table that he's signing on. So I put just talking, I put my hand on the table, and he goes, take your hand off the table. Whoa. I was like, okay. So he signs it, and then I said, and it was obviously the only autograph on the poster. I said, "Would you be a favor, Anthony?" He said, "What's that?" I said, "Could you sign it a little larger than you normally would, just because I want it to really pop?" He goes, "No." He says, "I'm going to sign it the same size in the same way I sign for everybody else." Okay, and there's a reason for it. So I said, "Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you." Well, and he goes, and he was actually very nice. And when he was done, he looked at it. He says, "If I signed it any different or any larger, it wouldn't be proportionate." And he was absolutely right. When he was done, it's absolutely perfectly proportionate to the poster. So he said just go right over there. He pointed to a table against the wall. He goes, lay it out over there and let it dry. And there was another gentleman there. I just met him, and he was having some stuff signed too. And I told him the story, and he goes, yeah. He goes, I've met Anthony many times years ago. I did the same thing. And he goes, do not ever put your hand on the table he's signing. So what happens is he is afraid of um, uh, forgeries. So his signature is very easy to authenticate because he doesn't deviate much, if at all, from signing, depending on what it is he's signing. If it's something small, he's obviously gonna have to do a little smaller. But he's evidently he's afraid of forgeries, which I completely understand. I was just taken back by how he was like very like straight to the point, and I can respect that. That's absolutely fine. So I finished up there, and I went downstairs to meet my son, and had just finished up meeting Ron Perlman, Hellboy. There was a bunch of there was, I think, four or so people there from Sons of Anarchy, but my son had bought a tin that somebody had painted. It was a vendor there at the Comic-Con, and Ron Perlman had actually signed it. It was very nice. It was very cool. And my son said he was very kind and got some photos with him, and he was very nice. But that was my experience this year. I mean, a lot more happened that I can't really put in one video, but I do know I need to. So I really enjoyed this year, and I plan on going again next year. And I just don't know how any other Comic Con can top this one. It was just absolutely just a wonderful time, and I had a great time. And spending time with my son. And even though we split up and we kind of I say divide and conquer, but went there together, we hung out together, we split up a little bit, but we accomplished pretty much everything. My son, there was one or two people that he wanted to meet, the voice actors, that it was just too busy, and we just didn't have time, and we had pretty much gone through our budget anyway. I save up all year. I don't feel guilty, but I save up all year for this, so it's very special to go. And I will end this video. Excuse me. I will end this video with I know I need to do the new Rolling Stones Hackney Diamonds album review. I plan on doing that. I just so busy this weekend, and now I'm back to work, and I probably won't be able to do it until later in the week, maybe on the weekend. I don't know. I've listened to it many times. I haven't listened, or I haven't watched or read anybody else's reviews. So that way my opinions aren't altered whatsoever. I'm gonna go into this with my true feelings. So yeah, look forward. That's probably gonna be my next video. But um, you know, Rhode Island Comic Con 2023 was a success, and I loved it, and I look forward to going again, and be looking out for the Hackney Diamonds album review here on For the Record next time later in the week. Okay, and as always, be kind to others. Peace.